Hey, nerds, it's Iggy here, and I'm at the Front Range Film Festival in Longmont, Colorado, and for the first time in a million years, I've said it right, and I'm here with filmmaker Owen Alexander Johnson, and it was Becoming Cass Smith is the film, the documentary, actually, that just kicked off the last block we watched. So, well, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Doing well, and second of all, tell us a little bit about the film.
The film Becoming Cass Smith was the first film out of Tree Stump Films, which is a documentary production company based out of the Rocky Mountain Student Media Corporation at CSU. The Collegian newspaper, it's the local one for CSU, runs out of the same office, and we just started up. It's the first documentary to come out of there, and it's doing a lot better than I expected. So
I now have a million more questions for you. We haven't even gotten into the film questions. It's crazy. So it sounds like, so it's backed by the college, or is it just a group of students kind of doing it through an organization in the college?
The relationship between Rocky Mountain Student Media and CSU is a little bit complicated. They used to be one and the same, and then in 2007 they separated and became its own corporation, but it's still inside the CSU campus.
Okay.
That's what the Student Media Corporation.
Listen, complicated, I understand. I've been in a relationship. I get it and all that. But anyways, that's awesome. That's pretty cool. And what else is cool is, like you said, is this film documentary basically bringing attention to Cass Smith. Mm-hmm. Why? Tell us why that decision and why so?
Well, in November, about 4 months prior to this getting started with this film, the Collegian, this newspaper from the media company, ran a special edition about for Transgender Awareness Week, I believe, and Cass Smith was the front runner for that particular article. My boss, the CEO of Student Media, came to the documentary company, which had just gotten started, and said it'd be great if we had a component to go along with this this article that came out, a video component. And so I just decided to go ahead and make that about Kaz, so that we could see who he is and how he talks and what he does in his free time, like stuff that wasn't focused on in the article that would further humanize him as a character.
Right. Does Kaz have ties to Colorado State, or is that what?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Kaz was in their third year before deciding to not return for a year or so, just to take some time and figure out if this was something that he wanted to finish out. But yeah, he was a student there.
Okay, awesome. And what made you, obviously, documentary filmmaking, I mean, that's a big thing. That's not a small thing. What said, hey, I'll make a documentary?
It's hard because it almost just kind of fell to me at some point, because Student Video Productions was the commercial production company within Student Media that I was the director of when the documentary company got started up, and I was just the best person for the job at that time, so I took on director of that as well. And then I was like, yeah, no, I can do documentaries. I can make this work. Like, this is going to be fun. And then it ended up being something I really, really, really enjoyed.
That was going to be my next question. It seems like, and for people, and we've been nerding out about other things. For me, I feel, so first of all, for your background, Project Nerd, our motto is you can nerd out about anything. Nerding means passion. You have passion about something. And for me, nerds in general love documentary films because it's just feeding you. It's feeding you. And do you feel you learn even more by being a part of making one, let alone just consuming it?
Oh, absolutely. So, I mean, I love narrative filmmaking. That's where I started in high school. And that's probably where I'm going to end up going to. But taking a step into documentary production taught me so much about story and character that I wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And now there's more understanding of what human stories are and everything about them that I wouldn't have gotten without stepping into documentary production. So that might bring a lot to narrative film in the future for me, I think.
Awesome. What was a curveball on this production that you weren't ready for, that just was like, oh, I need to now do that for every film I make, or something that maybe taught you, I don't want to say a lesson, but yeah, basically a lesson?
This was the I mean, we've all seen, I feel like most of us have seen the circle, the hero cycles circle, right? You've seen that? You know what I'm talking about? I had that, and I understood concepts about what stories were and all of that, but it wasn't until I was finishing up the second edit of this film where I was like, oh, I actually understand it now instead of just having it memorized or whatever. So it actually fell into place, and story structure and value and character started to click way more than in anything else I've made.
Right.
So I'd say even though it wasn't super concrete, that was the thing that I took away from this, having a better understanding of.
I mean, that's pretty important. So
I'd say so too.
It's a good lesson for sure. So I think we had a whole panel of young filmmakers up there that we were talking before we sat down to talk here, and all of y'all talked about excitement and energy basically to go into future projects. Have you started something already, or are you thinking of something?
Yeah, so I'm shooting a short film with my friend Nick, who is here this evening. Him and I went to Denver School of the Arts together and studied video. And then, so we have this short film coming up that we're going to shoot before the end of the semester, and we're going to use that to kick off as much of a career as we can in narrative film. Because right in the end of the summer, we're going to move to New York and just start.
Go for it.
Which is kind of insane to think about, but that's just, we want to have a film that we feel like represents what we can do, and we're going to be able to pull that off with this one, and then we'll just ride that one until we get the opportunity to make another one.
Well, listen, fortune favors the bold. I mean, again, I think I said this earlier downstairs, cliche, but it's true.
That's the reason why,
yeah. All right. Where can everybody find you online, or find more about the projects coming up, or maybe even follow that adventure to New York?
Yeah, totally. So owenjohnsonmedia.com is my website. Pretty easy to remember. Also studentvideoproductions.com if you want a commercial production, or treestumpfilms.com, I believe, is also online now.
Awesome, Owen. Well, thank you so much. It was awesome. Make sure you check this out and follow for even more amazing projects coming up. For all of you nerds, if you're not following us already, there's these little buttons down here below if you're on the YouTubes. You need to subscribe, you need to like, you need to turn on those notifications so you can see more of what's going on, not just at the Front Range Film Festival, but all the awesome events we attend all year long. And for everybody, have a good night. Terrible close, but I'll see you later anyways.